You are listening to Unstoppable Actors, the essential podcast for ambitious, unknown actors with me, Louise, the artistic director of Standby Method Acting Studio. And for the last 13 years, I've been taking unknown actors with blank CVs all the way to Netflix dramas, Amazon Prime films, TV soaps and stage plays around the world. And every week I'll be talking with you and sharing how you can become a paid working unstoppable actor, because you 1000% can. An acting career is doable. Are you ready to dive into the episode?
Your character connections will get better when you hear what I'm going to share with you. I've coached new and early career actors for over a decade and a half. No, almost a decade and a half, sorry. And I always see weak connections to the character when these actors first get them up on the feet. And I don't mean that in a negative light. What I mean by weak is actually there's potential. And the actor does want to do their best, but the actor isn't listening to their impulse. What they're doing instead is they're just trying to make things sound real as opposed to actually listening to their instincts and their imagination. So what ends up happening is the character is a bit flat, it's a bit samey to the last character that they played, or it's just missing a bit of depth. Do you ever look at a script and think, yep, I've got this, I'm so excited to play this character, and then the minute you get it up on its feet, it just doesn't play out the way you imagined or wanted, and something feels a little bit off? If you can hear the lines in your head when you're reading them, and then you try and make them sound like that when you get the scene up on its feet, then stop doing that, because that is not the starting point for the character. That is actually you coming from a place of fear. A fear that there is only one way to say the lines. A fear that they might sound hammy, so if they don't sound anything like what they sound like in your head, everything else is wrong. That's nothing to do with acting. You hear me talk about this time and time again in the episodes. This is mental tension. Nothing to do with acting. In fact, the complete opposite to do with acting, because it's you worrying. I always say this to my paying acting students who come and train with me in the classes, in the Method Actor Circle, but nobody is paying to see you on stage or in front of a camera worrying. They're paying to see a character and that character's story and that character's journey. So if you know you're that actor who gets caught up in what the lines sound like in their head and then giving yourself a hard time if they don't sound like that, or trying to make the lines sound real, or trying to just get a scene up on its feet straight away without putting in the work, stop doing it. Stop doing it, because you are selling yourself short. And I know there is way more potential inside of you. The starting point is actually getting fully acquainted with your imagination. So you have to avoid the temptation to want to get the scene up on its feet, because it will fall flat. What you need to do instead is make reading the full script your very first priority. Because when you first read the script, you are accessing something called your pure imagination. Your pure imagination has no preconceived ideas about how the character should be played. There is no mental tension around the character. There is only excitement. And this makes way for the actor's antenna. And the actor's antenna is this little metaphor. It's this thing that is always picking out the clues. And it is the absolute strongest on the very first read of the script. So you have to make sure that you read the script in full and you allow yourself to get lost in the story. Let your pure imagination and your actor's antenna do their work whilst you just simply read. That's easier than you might think. Yeah, it's not as exciting as getting a scene up on its feet straight away, but it's actually filling you up with so much goodness that you can't possibly get when you just jump into the scene straight away. Because when you jump into the scene straight away, you're guessing, you're clutching at straws, you've got no direction. That's why the character becomes flat. That's why the character connection is weak. It's almost like you're stabbing in the dark. You're trying to find some sort of connection, but there isn't one there because it's not been built on anything strong. Whereas when you allow yourself to get immersed in the story the first time you read the script, and you let that pure imagination take over, and you let that actor's antenna pick out all the clues, now you've got some solid foundations for making bold choices and making deep connections. Yes, okay, so getting a scene up on its feet straight away is fun. It feels fun. But actually, it's more fun to read the script, because when you first get the scene up on its feet without these solid foundations, the scene is either going to become chaotic, it's going to become flat, or you might by chance create a connection, but then it's going to lose that connection and it's going to lose that spark that it had very, very quickly, because, as I've already said numerous times, the connection wasn't built on a strong foundation. A bit like that disappointing third date that you went on, where you thought, oh yeah, there's loads of chemistry, we're having fun, and then you realised, oh, there might be chemistry, but there's no connection. See it like dating, if you will. You see, when you're reading the script for the very first time, there's no pressure to perform. There is literally just the enjoyment of absorbing the story, getting lost in the story and letting your imagination do the work. But when you get that scene up on its feet first time without having built these strong foundations by just committing to reading the full script, there's pressure to perform, because you have got this idea in your head of who you are as an actor and what you should be doing. That's mental tension. Mental tension blocks access to your pure imagination, and then you are fighting a losing battle. And it should never feel like you're trying to perform. It should never feel like you're forcing something. It should feel effortless. So the best thing you can do for yourself as an actor, the best way you can begin the character development process that is going to help you create a unique character that breathes through your skin, through your bones, and through your soul, is to sit down and read that full script, page to page, and allow yourself to get lost in the story. Because you will be training yourself into good habits, into the habits of a professional actor, which will then allow you to create characters where people look at you and they go, wow, was that even really you? Because it just did not look like you. It did not sound like you. I was absolutely mesmerised. I had to keep double taking. When you do this as a new or unknown or early career actor, you're making it easier for casting directors to want to invite you into auditions. You're making it easier for agents to want to call you into meetings to offer you representation, because you're showing them you are a professional. Even if you've not been at this very long, it doesn't matter. You've got to do what the casting directors and agents want if you want more doors opening for you, but also the things that make you feel good. And delivering flat, chaotic performances doesn't make you feel good, but delivering ones that are based on strong foundations make you feel good. And that energy radiates outwards. It's palpable. People pick up on it. And then they start to see you as the actor that can be relied upon. You are reliable. That has got to be one thing for you as an actor. You have got a good work ethic, you are reliable, you bring the goods, and you can be trusted to do the work. That's all casting directors and agents want from you. And I've got a casting director popping by inside the Method Actors Circle. How exciting to come and look at your acting and give you feedback. How exciting. This is on top of all of the brilliant library of pre-recorded method acting lessons that we've got already in there, that I've got rarely used exercises that will get you wanting to leap into them quicker than wanting to jump into a hot bath after a crazy day. This is a welcome gift. This casting director popping by to look at your acting work and give you feedback is a welcome gift for new members of the Method Actors Circle. But we've obviously got limited places. We can't have thousands of actors in there because not everybody gets seen. So we're limiting the amount of actors who we can let into this. So if you want to get a casting director's eyes on your work and give you feedback, and you want to get that library of rarely used method acting exercises and lessons, and then you also want to get that audition and character development class, so you're constantly in the flow of practicing and improving, so you become that reliable actor, then click the link underneath the episode and come and join us. It is going to be absolutely spectacular. It's going to make you feel good. It's going to make you feel proactive. You are going to feel like a professional actor who's making things happen. And I can't wait to see how you develop.
I've absolutely loved hanging out with you, and I really hope you found this episode inspiring. If you have, please do rate the podcast and hit follow so you never miss an episode and I can help more actors like you. And come and join one of the most supportive, uplifting acting communities on socials, the Unstoppable Actors Facebook group, where you'll get your weekly injection of inspiration, networking, and receive your free Method Actors handbook so you can become an unstoppable actor.